In broad daylight, the ruthless Badger committed two heinous murders one after another. First, he mercilessly killed the diligent Turtle, and then he strangled the returning Snake to death. His audacity knew no bounds. Even after escaping from prison, he attempted to take revenge on Officer Leopard's child. However, justice is inescapable, and in the end, the criminal Badger faced the full force of the law. Before committing these murders, the Badger was already notorious in the neighborhood as a troublemaker. He was lazy and gluttonous, often sneaking around at night to steal whatever he could get his paws on. The money he pilfered was immediately squandered at nightclubs. After an evening of reckless partying, he found himself broke yet again, prompting him to come up with another money-making scheme. Petty theft was no longer enough to satisfy his greed, so a daring idea struck him: insurance fraud. However, Badger soon realized that scamming people wasn't as easy as he had imagined. His first attempt failed miserably, and he barely escaped being run over by a car. Frustrated and furious, he was forced to devise a new plan. At that moment, an even more sinister way to make money emerged in Badger's mind: robbery. However, during his attempted robbery of the hard-working Turtle, he lacked restraint and unintentionally killed him in cold blood. Unfortunately, Turtle barely had any money on him. Badger rummaged through every inch of Turtle's body, only managing to find a few dozen dollars, an amount that infuriated him. That afternoon, he set his sights on Snake, who was on his way home from work. Fearing that Snake might cry out for help during the robbery, the ruthless Badger strangled him to death. This time, he hit the jackpot, snatching a hefty $2,000 before gleefully fleeing the crime scene. Little did Badger know that his brutal murder of Snake had been witnessed in its entirety by Wild Boar, who had been hiding nearby. Without wasting a moment, Wild Boar sprinted toward the police station. Upon meeting the police chief, he recounted every detail of the horrific crime without leaving out a single word. Recognizing the severity of the case, the chief immediately assigned his most trusted officer, Leopard, to track down Badger. Leopard lived up to expectations. After several days of meticulous investigation, he successfully captured the criminal Badger. Officer Leopard sentenced the criminal Badger to 50 years in prison. During his time behind bars, Badger endured daily taunts and beatings from fellow inmates. Unable to tolerate the abuse any longer, he devised a plan to escape. Night after night, under the cover of darkness, he secretly dug a tunnel. After 2 months of relentless effort, he finally broke free from his confinement. But instead of hiding, the audacious Badger plotted revenge against the one who had put him behind bars, Officer Leopard. Fortunately, Leopard arrived just in time, preventing harm from coming to his 2 young children. However, Badger remained at large. Realizing that capturing Badger was beyond his own capabilities, Officer Leopard reported the case to the police chief. With Leopard's request for reinforcements, the chief swiftly assembled a search team to hunt down the fugitive. Then, outside a bar, fate intervened. The police chief came face to face with the ruthless Badger. Knowing that another arrest could seal his fate, Badger desperately bolted. The chief chased him relentlessly, but Badger, fueled by his sheer will to survive, managed to evade capture once again. In an urgent effort to apprehend the fugitive, the police chief escalated the case to the city police commissioner. Upon learning of the situation, the commissioner took immediate action, convening officers that very day to strategize the arrest. After drafting a meticulous capture plan, officers were stationed at various locations where Badger was known to frequent: hotels, supermarkets, nightclubs, and other entertainment venues. Eventually, while en route to a nightclub, the commissioner successfully intercepted and captured the ruthless fugitive. With 2 murders already on his record, an escape from prison, and an attempted revenge attack on Officer Leopard, Badger faced multiple charges. The city commissioner sentenced him to death, with immediate execution. As justice was finally served, the victims, Turtle and Snake, could now rest in peace.